All right, everybody, man. Welcome back to the SNL pod. This is season 2, and it's been a long summer, man, but we're here. First episode was last week. We had Slick by himself doing the introduction, but this week is when the games have started, points are in, picks have been chosen, cats have lost, cats have won, and we're just going to go into it, man. But before we continue, I just want to introduce myself yet again to those who are new. My name is KxngTrizz, aka for season 2 Negro Damas, as I see the future along with my co-host.
Assistant Commissioner Slick. Before we get started, I just want to say in person, on camera, congratulations on your new baby.
Thank you.
Didn't expect you to be here so quickly for this episode, but you put the baby aside, gave it a stiff arm, and we're ready to get to talk about football.
Yeah, man, let's get it. Let's get it. Now, as you can remember, last season we had a lot of drama when it came to some guys claiming to be, what is it? What was the name again? It's like
the Commonwealth.
The Commonwealth, yes. So those people are now like quote unquote the Renaissance. That's the division name, and the others.
Except for me.
Except for you.
Except for me. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you over there now. But we got the Renaissance, we got Secret Society, man. So let's go into what happened this week. We have on the Secret Society, Thelonious Punt, HTX Houston Boy, JD Grams, myself, and C Blizzy. On Renaissance, we have Central C, the notorious Central C, Team Donnie, Them Boys, Pico de Guapo, and Slick.
So with the Secret Society, we got 3 teams that won their first game: Thelonious Punt, Houston Boy, and JD Grams. And Negro Damas and C Blizzy are at the bottom of the division, losing their first games. While on the Renaissance, I see you shaking your head. We'll get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
But on the Renaissance, we got Central C, Team Donnie are the only ones who have won their first game of the season, while Dem Boys, Pico de Guapo, and Slick, myself, have dropped to 0-1.
For the first matchup we had, myself going up against Thelonious Punt. I want to say this matchup felt like the finals to me because it was really close and it was high scoring. And us being the 2 highest scores in the league this season, well, this week, even though I took an L, I don't like that. I like starting off with an L, but it is what it is. I'm getting a lot of trash talk in the group chat because I take an L. Nobody respects that I scored 146 points, but it's fine. It's fine.
I respect it. I think it's a good point spread. It's unfortunate that Thelonious Punt put up 153.5. So you don't often lose at 146.5. But
you're not. Like a win is about 90% guaranteed once you hit about 130, essentially.
Right.
But anyway, I had Dakota Prescott. I'm calling him by his full name, Dakota, because he's disrespectful. You can't go out here and give me 20 points. I'm sorry. You can't do that, man. You're the highest paid quarterback in the league right now, bro.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Highest paid player in the league right now. You just got paid, but he got paid and it's guaranteed, so he can just relax now. It's like, he got his money anyway. But 20.5 points, I didn't like that too much. Saquon Barkley, I loved. 32.5 points in Philly, 109 yards, 3 total touchdowns. That was amazing. Alvin Kamara. Now, I want to say I drafted pretty well, man. I think I drafted pretty well. Alvin Kamara, everybody thought he was probably going to have a washed year because last year wasn't too great. A man started off with 21.5 points. Cheddars, Justin Jefferson, 15.5. Pittman Jr. was that's where I kind of got disappointed. His team is pretty stacked. They have a lot of receivers. So they were spreading the ball a lot. Only 7 points. Kittle only 8 points. He's a tight end. If I get 8 points from my tight end, I'm not going to complain. There are days he will give me 20. I know that for sure. And when those days come, they will be lovely. George Pickens, 14.5 points. He's doing exactly what he was supposed to do. Now, the New Orleans defense, 17 points. I realized something, bro. It was defense and kickers this week. Those are the guys getting points. And we're going to see this as we go down for the breakdown. But New Orleans defense gave me 17. My kicker gave me 10. And my bench, I got some good guys on the bench. Neighbors, Montgomery, Robinson. You know their numbers when you see that. But anyway, I lost, so let's not focus on me too much. Thelonious Punt, 153.5 points this week. Amazing. 37 points by Lamar Jackson. Great quarterbacking points. Isaiah Pacheco, 15.5, which is good. Josh Jacobs not doing too well, but still giving double digits with 12. We always talk about you want at least double digits to feel comfortable, especially if you're running backs. Aaron, Amon-Ra St. Brown, the biggest disappointment. He was drafted really early in a lot of leagues, but really early. A man started with like 2 catches for 13 yards, man. That's
not great.
That's not great at all, man. But he also had AJ Brown. AJ Brown with 22.5 points, which is really good. Njoku got injured halfway through the game with 8 points. But here we go again. Now, you already know I got beef with Cooper Kupp. And it's not
Why
him.
you got beef with Cooper, yo?
I got beef with Cooper because they force feed Cooper the ball. Like, listen, if you really look at all the other elite receivers, these cats are getting like 20 points off of like 5 catches, 90 yards, a touchdown, something like that. Cooper Kupp has 14 receptions.
But he's the guy, and you know that he can get separation in his routes, and you know that he can do work after catching the ball.
14 for 110, bro? Come on, man. That's like...
Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to win the game.
All right, well, that's fine. Like, fantasy-wise, it's amazing because that means he's a volume receiver, and you want your volume receivers because that's guaranteed points. Personally, if you have him, kudos to you, man. That's great. When you go against that, it's like, come on. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's not good when you're going against it.
Exactly.
Going against it, right.
Right. Kyrie Fairburn, 17 points as a kicker. Like I said, kickers were really doing good this week. And, his bench is pretty good. He had Chris Godwin on bench for 22 points. Had he put Chris Godwin in there and not like Amon-Ra St. Brown, that man would have had like 175 points, which would have been crazy. But
insane
before week 1.
Yeah.
Feels Felonious Punt is up right now, 153.5 points. He's currently first place in the league right now. And I'm sitting 6th place with an L, man. But I will say this, no one else could have beat me this week. And I'm going to stand on that. No one else could have beat me. It had to be Phil this week. So congratulations, Phil.
I do want to touch on Dak Prescott for you. If he just scores 8 more points,
that's it.
It's a different game.
If he gave me 30, that's a dub.
Like 28 points right there. That's pretty average for a quarterback.
That's what you
in
want.
Fantasy football, but he couldn't give you average points. If he just did that, it would have been a W for Negrodamus. That's the way it goes sometimes. It does not go your way. Next game, we have Dem Boys going against Team Donnie. This was a game I said last week that I was watching. The projections were pretty close, I believe, and the points came down to 3 points. Team Donnie 115, Dem Boys 112.5. Less than 3 points, 2.5 points. Team Donnie had Jalen Hurts with 26 points, average. He could have had 30 points, but he threw 2 picks, so that's -2 for each pick.
It would have been way more than 30 if those are connected because the yards connected. So that man could have had like 40.
That's true. Bijan Robinson with 15.5 points. Joe Mixon had 26 points. Devontae Adams, 10.5. I think he can do more than that. That's another person they try to force feed the ball to, but it's early, I don't know if he's coming off of injury as well.
That game, though.
That's someone to look out for further in the season. Drake London, 3.5 points. The rest of her team didn't do that great. McBride with 8 points. Johnson with 3.5. Her defense, though, current theme, 13 points. If anything, 10 points or more with the defense is perfect because 10, you didn't lose anything at the start of the game.
Right.
And anything more than that is addition to. So good job with the Steelers defense and Harrison Butker with 9 points. Harrison Butker is always going to be busy being on the Chiefs. He might not get a lot of field goals, but he will get a lot of extra points. So that with the mixture with the rarity of the field goals will get him in decent position with points, but 9 is okay. It was just enough to win. On the other side, for them boys, Jared Goff, 19.5 points. Terrible. That is where I think he lost.
Oh, yeah.
If Jared Goff gives him an average game, 25, 26 points, them boys is up 1-0. Doesn't happen that way. White was 16.5. Walker the third with 18.5, which is great. So 2 back-to-back running back position, giving him good points. Tyreek Hill, who he stole from the draft, got arrested before the game and still put up 26 points with 7 receptions, 130 yards, and a touchdown.
So, okay, I got to bring up this point because remember I talked about Cooper Kupp. That's half the receptions and more yards. That's all I got to say.
Sometimes that's all you need. Wilson with 12, Laporta 8.5. The rest of his team is just not great. Cooper 3.5, defense 4, Young Hoku 4 points. He lost with Jared Goff. He do better with the quarterback play over there.
Outside of Tyreek Hill, do you feel like them boys is a threat?
No.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Because if you take 10 points away from Tyreek and that's just a good receiver day with 16 points, he's only up 102. Now, add the points for an average quarterback, he's still putting up around 112, so that's not great.
Here's what's crazy, right? I'm looking at all these other players, and Jared Goff, give him 10 more points with Jared Goff. That's 122. Everybody else is doing what they're gonna do, except for Amari Cooper. We're gonna see what happens this season. I don't think it's gonna be like last season. Deshaun is not looking. It ain't look good that well. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm scared. I feel like I'm more scared of Donnie and what she can pull off.
I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we have Pico de Guapo versus Houston Boy. Now, as you know, Pico de Guapo is our current champion. Last year, Pico de Guapo entered the playoffs with 500 records, 7 wins, 7 losses. Ended up with amazing performances in round 1 to knock off, I think it was C Blizzy, and another amazing performance in round 2 to knock off Central C, and came and had a really amazing performance to knock me off in the finals. I'm still bitter about that, and it was a really high scoring game on both our parts. I had like 147, he had like 155 or some weird number like that, but it's hard to score that high and lose, man. It's crazy. But Pico de Guapo, congratulations once again. But he did not start this season looking good, man. Jordan Love, 24 points. I think he got injured. He messed up his knee.
He did get injured.
Yeah,
he did get injured. He might be out for a few weeks.
Yeah, and he was counting on Jordan Love, but he has Tua. He has Tua on the bench. Tua giving 29.5 on the bench, so he's not going to be missing out on a lot. He has some real good guys, though. I'm just going to his bench before I go on to who he had, because he has James Conner, who is the number 1 option on Arizona right now. 19 points. He was just everywhere. 50 yards doesn't tell the story because he was catching as well. He has 2 good players on the bench that had he put them in, it would have been much different when it comes to the scores. Probably not have won, but he would have scored higher. You had Breece Hall, who gave him 17.5 points. Etienne, his running backs were just fumbling, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, a fumble each.
Exactly. Yeah, that's still not good. That's 4 points.
Good to see.
4 points plus whatever yards they could have been. So that's Jamar Chase with 12 points, Nico Collins 17.5. Mark Andrews a disappointment again. Titans were pretty disappointed, except for Likely. But Titans were like pretty disappointed this week as well. 3 points. McLaurin, I don't think he's gonna have a good season. I think he should be dropped. That's just me. But 3.5 points. The defense is giving it 0.5 point. That's better than negative, so I'm not gonna complain about that. But
here's the thing: the Jets, they usually have I don't want to say a good defense.
The crap out of them, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They know how to run block. So I could say any running back can have a good day in San Francisco. Yeah, that's what they do.
They just replaced Christian McCaffrey. And it's like he wasn't even gone. Ran the same plays. Everything just worked out. But Dick of the kicker, 12 points, and that's really good for a kicker. All in all, 102 points. That's not a good start for Pico de Guapo, but at least he scored over 100 points. And that's important. Remember that. But he lost to the Houston Boys, man. So, controversy. Houston Boys had the 4th pick in the draft, something like that. Yeah, this man skipped over Tyreek Hill and all the other good skill positions and picked up Josh Allen. I've never seen somebody pick a quarterback so early in the league. Now, he said he knew what he was doing. He had his plan, whatever. We all rashed him. We trashed him. We don't believe him. But it worked out because he scored 136.5. Josh Allen gave him 39.5 points. Whatever his system he had set up It worked out for him. We can't complain against the numbers. He's putting up the numbers, so it is what it is, man. Achane, 22.5 points. Diggs, 21.5. Diggs seems to be continuing what he's doing. I think Diggs is going to be better in Houston than he was over at Buffalo. Honestly, I think they're
I
gonna.
would agree.
Yeah, they're gonna appreciate him more. What's crazy though is outside of that, I'm gonna be real honest about his team. Outside of that, I'm not worried about his team because I don't think Javonte Williams from Denver is gonna be doing much good stuff this season. It's Denver. Denver running backs or wide receivers haven't been good over the past few years anyway. 3 points. Metcalf, Metcalf is hit or miss. 5.5 points. Kincaid, 2 points. Tank Dell, well, I can see Tank Dell doing good a few times, but not every time. Diggs is now there, so I think Tank Dell is gonna go down a little bit now that Diggs is here. But 8.5 points. But the San Francisco kicker, that boy was kicking. That boy was kicking 6 field goals, 26.
Yeah, they always say, what's his name? Brock Purdy's a game manager, so he's always going to put his team in a position to where they can get points. And they did that with Moody, 26 points, 6 field goals attempted, 6 field goals made, 2 extra points.
136 points. Now, I will say, remove 15 of those points from the kicker, then Houston boys just only scoring about 150. Even with a good Achane and a good Diggs and a good Josh Allen. That's why I'm not too concerned about his team. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's about what points he scored. He scored 136. He did well for himself. Congratulations. He's in the win column. I can't talk because I'm in the loss column. So
that makes 2 of us. The next game, we've got C. Blizzy and J.D. Grams. Now, C. Blizzy said during the draft, and I mentioned last episode, he was calling J.D. Grams a bye week, week 1. Boy, was he wrong.
Nah.
J.D. Grams.
He was right. A bye week did happen. He was the bye week.
He was the bye week, 100%. J.D. Grams did his thing. First game playing fantasy football ever. We thought he was drafting weirdly, but that's the thing. It's fantasy football. Anything can happen.
He did make a lot of moves in the waivers though before the draft.
With our assistance though.
Yeah, we helped him. We told him to pick up some few guys. Yeah.
But 136 to 109.5. Patrick Mahomes, 24 points average, which is fine because he didn't need him to do anything more. Cook, 13 points. Ford, 18.5 points. Great. Rice, 17 points. Great. Now here it is, right here. Reed with 32.5 points. 4
He's not doing
receptions.
That again. He's not doing that again.
Four receptions, 138 yards, and 2 total touchdowns. So I assume he ran for one and caught one. That is, I believe, where he really, really won. Travis Kelce, 6 points.
His kicker,
with 21 points. Once again, keeping the theme of the kickers in week 1, pushing him forward. But Travis Kelce, 6 points. We know he can be on or off, so still a good person to have on your team, I guess. Brown with 5 points. Defense, -1. Kansas City's defense isn't that great.
They've just been good enough.
Let's see, Blizzy, amazing performance with Richardson at 30 points at the quarterback position. CMC was out, and he did not have anyone else that he could replace because everyone else was locked on Monday night. So he had to leave him in the lineup for a big 0. Samuel Sr., 18 points. Waddle, 15. Pitts, 11.5. Then go down the list with 9.5, 5, and 6. I have a question for you. If CMC plays, do you think C. Blizzy wins?
How much points did the backup running back score?
I think 20-something.
20. That was Mason, right? Jordan Mason, yes. 22 points. What's 22 plus 109? Was it 109?
20 is 130.
He's not making it. He's not making it.
But that's assuming he puts up the same numbers as the backup.
Well, with the way Mason was running and the way they used him, I think they would have used CMC exactly the same way. So I'm just giving him that 22 points. And even with that, but that's the thing though. Waiting for a player to score anything north of 20 just to secure a win on a Monday night, that's a heart attack. Bro.
It is.
Yeah.
But I mean, he could do it though.
No, you definitely CMC. You can definitely do that.
with the addition of catching the balls out of the backfield as well. So
Exactly.
he might have won with CMC, but it's not great to see his performance without him on putting up points. So,
but that's why,
some
but this is the lesson in building or managing your roster well. Personally, I've never felt comfortable going into a Monday with an injured player being my only player available. Like, I'm making some moves one way or another, knowing that, like, yo, if my guy can't go, I have someone else. See, Blizzy, he didn't care, man. He had Hutchinson's on the IR, and he just thought McCaffrey was going to play, and he was 100% confident in that. Now, this is fantasy. You cannot be 100% confident in any player in any situation, because that's when they're going to disappoint you. That's what I've learned of all my years playing fantasy, and that's what happened, man. He really thought going Sunday night, CMC was going to play. He was going to get that dub, and all these other positions being locked up. Personally, if I was him, I would have looked forward and dropped probably Smith Nigma Sunday before his game started, because he's on the bench. You got to really think about that. This guy's on the bench. Am I really going to use him throughout the season? He's probably a streaming option, right? I have a guy who's questionable who I want to play. So I'm keeping my options open by kicking somebody else just in case this guy doesn't play, so I can guarantee my win. But that's where the inexperience comes in, man. Like, these guys, they're playing fantasy, but the managing part, man, they're not experienced like that.
A lot of teams are 1 or 2 player reliant for the W. So that is not good to win.
Exactly.
Not at all. And
finally,
dud of the week.
Sir, let's talk about it.
Central C going against Slick. Central C with a dub, 137 to myself, 162. And 162. I wish.
Yeah.
I wish
62.5.
0.5.
How do you feel, bro? How do you feel?
A lot of guys let me down. A lot of guys, from the quarterback all the way down.
Or your whole bench let you down.
My bench let me down, except for Elliott, maybe, right? But Elliott had 12.5 points.
That's crazy. And that would have been the second highest. It would have been the second highest. Yo, first of all, Joe Burrow has not been good, bro, over the past few years. Like, he's just been coasting. So I don't know why you drafted Joe. 18 points from Joe.
He was all that was available, I believe, at the time. I'd have to go back and look.
Bro, the amount of people that are not rostered, Baker Mayfield wasn't rostered. He got 40
I didn't
points.
see Baker Mayfield doing what he was going to do.
Last year didn't give you. He was really good last year.
I just didn't see it.
Oh my gosh.
I just didn't see it. But
Joe Burrow was worse than Baker last year, but granted, Joe Burrow was injured for some time, but still. Anyway.
Yeah, Joe Burrow, 18 points. Jonathan Taylor, 10.5 points. Hubbard, 1. Puka Nacua, who got injured, 8 points.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison Jr.,
Get rid
1
of him.
point. Ferguson, 4.5. Ayuk, 4.5. Buffalo defense, 8 points. Tucker, 7 points.
Bro, I'm going to be honest with you, bro.
From top to bottom, my team.
From top to bottom, you need moves.
Oh, don't worry. The waivers are in there. The waivers are in there.
I haven't even touched the waivers yet, bro, because I'm afraid to drop in any of my players, man. I know my players are good.
I will let you know, and I said this earlier today in the chat, no one on my team is safe from the axe.
They shouldn't be.
I cannot have what I had last year carry over into this year.
Bro, it did not start good, bro.
And it did not start great. I think 62.5 is the new all-time low. That's the new all-time low,
bro,
for points. That hurts.
We got 9 players on our roster, right? If each player gives you 10 points, that's 90. You're not even cracking 100. So that means your players average about 6 or 7 points overall. Each player. That's wild, bro. That's wild. It's crazy,
I accepted all the trash talk that came my way with it.
You was threatening to kick cats out the league and all type of stuff, bro. Like, you,
I'll say I accepted it today. Okay. Today I accepted it, and it's concerning. I'll be real with you. It's concerning.
I'm concerned for you, man. I heard your wife left you.
She did not. That is. Let's not spread that.
Oh my god.
That is not what happened. But she was also not happy with my performance with
Yeah.
62.5 points. So
I wouldn't be happy either, man.
everyone all around is not happy with Slick. But on the
Uh-oh.
other side, of course, we got Central C. And it had to be against Central C
It
too.
had to be.
All the stuff he put me through last year, and then
Oh my
now first game
goodness.
of the season. This is
137 on your tet.
you got Murray with 24, Gibbs 17, Henry 10, Lamb 13.5,
Evans. Mm-hmm.
great game, 23 points. Ingram, I've never liked Ingram at the tight end. I had
Yeah.
him
Not
previous
at
years in a
Jacksonville.
different league, I think.
Yeah.
No, I don't like him, but 1.5. But Smith with 15. Dallas defense, 19.5 points. Good job, I guess. And Santos with 13 points. All around, his team is, I think his weakest link is Ingram for this season. But outside of that,
and his bench is stacked.
His bench is stacked. He's doing well. So I think Central C, once again, I would say an early favorite to get a first round bye. I'm not going to say to win the league, but I will say to get a first round bye.
Yeah, I don't. Let me see. Who's in this division again? I need to look at that. Nah, you're right. Team Donnie, maybe. Outside of that,
yeah, Team Donnie, but
yeah,
still Central C. I think that's going to come out of the Renaissance because I just think he has depth. Because you look at his bench, everyone else is still putting up numbers. It's the depth. That's why I'm saying that he's the one that's going to come out.
After this week and after looking at how people drafted, I can clearly say that there is no competition in the Renaissance. Like, I believe the weakest teams are on the Renaissance. Secret Society, on the other hand, we got hitters, boy.
As of week 1, I would have to agree with you.
Yeah, every player scored over 100 points, but 4 out of the 5 players all scored over 136. Central C is the only person scoring over 136 in the Renaissance. Everyone else scored under 115. Now, we had a little conversation in the chat today with Cats talking about points don't matter. Points matter. Even if you lose, they matter. That's,
points matter because if you get a tie with a record against a team, the tiebreaker goes to the team who's put up more points during the season. So points 1,000% matter.
Yeah, if the head-to-head is tied.
Yeah, if the head-to-head is tied, then we go to points scored this season for the tiebreaker. So points 100% matter. Those were the games for last week, but let's see how that translates to the playoff bracket. So if the league was to end today and the playoffs started tomorrow, we have right now current standings are Thelonious Punt with the bye week at 1, 2 Central C with the bye week. Then 3 to 6 we'll have Houston Boy at 3, JD Grams 4th, Team Donnie 5th, Negrodamus 6th. So you got the last playoff spot right now. It's early. We don't really have too many comments on it.
Yeah.
It's going to change, but that's the very early playoff prediction.
Very early, yeah. Now we're moving on to the matchups for next week, man. We have coming into week 2, JD Graham is going against myself. I'm not scared. I'm not worried. I don't think Reed is going to go out for 32, and I feel my players can have a repeat performance. So I think I'm going to go 1-1 next week. Then we have C Blizzy versus them boys, brotherly feud. Both of them have L's, so somebody's going to come out 0-2 in that matchup for sure.
Oh, sir.
Yes, sir. Then you have Houston boys going up against Thelonious Punt. Somebody's going to be 1-1 for sure because somebody's going to be 2-0. That's the thing, man. When you go into a 1-1 matchup, like get the 2-0, it feels good going into the season, man. It feels good. So we'll see how that looks out. But it looks like Thelonious Punt has that, man, because his projection is 18 points above. Projections don't mean anything till they mean something. Yeah, so we'll see.
They don't mean anything until they mean so. That's a good way of putting it. Next game we have Team Donnie versus Slick. Not good for me. Projections, I know they're not everything, but she is almost a whole 20 points ahead of me.
That's going to change after your waiver acquisition. So we'll see.
Well, I hope so. But right now it's not looking good for me. But I cannot get.
Can't be in the hole, man. 0-2.
I can't afford another. No, I can't afford another loss. I need to get out of this with a win.
Mm-hmm.
She cannot go up 2-0. I can't allow it. And the last game is Pico de Guapo and Central C.
Father versus son.
And who's the father? Who's the son? Has to be Pico the dad right here, right?
I mean, he has the chip right now, so.
And he beat Central C in the second round of the
did.
playoffs after Central
And
C had the bye week.
What's crazy is the projections are pretty close. It's 136 to 135.
Yes, the projections are really close, and that's going to be a good one. So, out of these games, do you have a game of the week?
I'm looking at Central C versus Pico, honestly.
That is where I'm at as well.
Yeah.
Bringing back the rivalry after Pico de Guapo left the Commonwealth after he had a prestigious position as vice president and left
Because they
and
got some
won the
snakes
chip
over
by
there,
himself. They do
Yeah.
got some snakes over there, you know.
Swindling.
But Pico de Guapo Central C will be game of the week. But I do have a second game that I'm looking at, and that is JD Grams versus Nicodamus. JD Grams runs his mouth a lot. He is very confident after one win.
Hey,
So
listen,
he's
fantasy's crazy, right? I could still lose to this man, and it would make me feel some type of way. Honestly, I'm not even going front. I'm confident my team has the manpower to like just dispose this guy. Yeah, man. It's fantasy. You never know.
You never know. All right, so game of the week, Pico de Guapo, but I am watching JD Grams and Nicodamus, aka Commissioner KxngTrizz.
Yes, sir.
Just because he had a lot to say, JD Grams. He said he's gonna put you in retirement. So
yeah, this man said he's gonna pay for my retirement, man. We'll see how that goes, man. He got that 401k money apparently.
We'll see. So these were the games that we had last week and future matchups for week 2. It should be an interesting week. It should be a fun week. A lot of waivers going to go through. I know a lot on my end. We are all looking forward to it. We're all looking forward to winning. Teams that have lost are looking to go up 1-0. Teams that have won are trying to go 2-0. So it is a very good week of football games and fantasy matchups. So that is what we have for you today. We are thankful for you guys watching and thankful for you guys listening for another season. And we will see you guys on the next one.